attention. What I'm about to explain can not only change your everyday life, but also completely alter the way you exist if you use this knowledge correctly. We're discussing your pineal gland, which works like your cosmic antenna, and how you harm it every time you waste your seed. Let me explain what is really happening inside you right now. Every time you ejaculate, remember the words of the famous physician from the Tang dynasty, Sun Miao. If a man avoids ejaculation for 100 days, his body will feel lighter and his strength will mirror that of a young man. His hearing and vision improve and his memory gets sharper. If he manages 1,000 days without ejaculation, he will be able to communicate with spirits and enjoy a longer life. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, relax, and focus on the space between your eyebrows. Notice the gentle pressure there. That is your third eye, your entrance to higher awareness, and every ejaculation forces it shut. Each time you climax, you don't just lose sperm. You also lose a blend of over 200 nutrients, minerals, vitamins, hormones, and vital energy that directly support your pineal gland. This mix includes iron, magnesium, tryptophan, vitamins B12 and folate, selenium, copper, chine, calcium, and many more. These are not random substances. They are the essential components that build your spiritual and physical strength. They form the foundation of your cosmic abilities. Consider this. You are actually wasting your spiritual power for a few seconds of pleasure. A brief release that leaves you exhausted, confused, and spiritually impaired. Afterwards, you might feel sleepy or even a bit let down and scattered. Isn't that a clear sign that your body is trying to tell you something? This video is the third installment following our previous talks on masturbation, and I will explain the mistaken idea that masturbation and ejaculation offer any benefits beyond simply making a child. As I mentioned before, this discussion is not focused on moral judgment or on being a saint in a figurative way. It deals with a literal, metaphysical concept that many believe is linked to saint-like qualities. Again, this isn't about judging what is right or wrong. It's about realizing the real price of your actions. It means recognizing that you are choosing to stay under the control of your primitive urges rather than growing into the divine being you are capable of being. And make no mistake, you hold within you the ability to develop into a godlike state. I welcome those who question these ideas, and even if you don't fully accept the metaphysical effects of semen or the spiritual role of the pineal gland, that's okay. But if you are serious about reaching higher states of awareness and connecting with levels of consciousness beyond the ordinary, then take a breath and listen. Our ancestors provided us with clear guidelines, old teachings and methods that many traditional cultures still use today. Modern science is just starting to support what our ancestors understood long ago. If you are ready for the scientific explanation I'm about to provide, please like and subscribe. It keeps you responsible and helps our community grow. From a scientific standpoint, it's important to realize the magnitude of what you are doing to your body. Your pineal gland is not merely a New Age idea. It is an actual organ in your brain that modern science is only beginning to comprehend. This small pine cone-shaped gland produces melatonin, controls your sleep cycles, and, according to both ancient teachings and leading researchers, serves as a connection between your physical body and spiritual aspects. When you ejaculate, you are not simply losing fluid. You set off a hormonal surge that affects your pineal gland. Prolactin levels shoot up while dopamine levels drop sharply. This hormonal imbalance hinders your pineal gland from producing melatonin, the key hormone for spiritual alertness and vivid dreams. To repeat, higher prolactin and lower dopamine create a hormonal imbalance that stops your pineal gland from making two important spiritual molecules, melatonin, and DMT. Take a moment. There's more to consider. Your pineal gland works as your body's clock and connects you to cosmic cycles. Regular ejaculation, particularly during the night, disrupts this sensitive clock. You're not only disturbing your sleep, but you also disconnect from the natural rhythm of the universe. Your body follows the cycles of the sun and moon, along with many other rhythmic patterns that you aren't even aware of. These occur automatically without your conscious input. Recent research shows that retaining semen can boost your body's electromagnetic field. You might wonder why this is important. It's because your pineal gland is very sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. When you retain your semen, you increase your ability to sense subtle energies and frequencies that usually go unnoticed, allowing you to experience aspects beyond the ordinary physical world. Take a moment. Think about this. Every time you ejaculate, you damage this connection, making your extrasensory awareness less sharp and effective. I won't soften the message. You are choosing to ignore the subtle signals of the universe and the quiet messages from higher intelligence that aim to guide your inner sense. In effect, you are distancing yourself from God. Consider this. You have the ability to fix this, as your actions and desires are under your control alone. You need to take back what is rightfully yours in the spiritual sense, even if that sounds overused. Regardless of what you think, we are all divine beings capable of remarkable abilities, similar to the wise figures such as Christ and the Buddha that we honor. Taking back all of our abilities is crucial, but it demands a deliberate decision, discipline, and a more complete awareness of your own nature. Now I will list the spiritual price you pay every time you ejaculate. The cost is this: your intuition, which is your pineal gland at work. Each time you waste your vital energy, you weaken this extra sense. If you are content with only 5 senses, that's your choice. But remember that every human can experience more. Your aura, the energy field around you, is something everyone possesses. It is a genuine phenomenon. Our auras vary in strength and clarity, and they can be measured as an electromagnetic occurrence. Scientists measure the aura through the heart's electromagnetic vibration, and researchers at the HeartMath Institute can already observe it using their instruments. Regular ejaculation causes your aura to become weak, uneven, unstable, and broken. You become more prone to negative influences and find it harder to keep those high energy states that draw in success, meaningful coincidences, and moments of spiritual insight. Take a moment and consider the old practices, such as those of the Kitik-Nans, Tao followers, and Tantric practitioners, who recognize that semen is a spiritual essence that should be released and redirected if you are not aiming to have a child. If your goal is not to produce offspring, then semen is actually a concentrated source of life energy. Every ejaculation results in the loss of this sacred energy and cuts off your link to higher levels of awareness. I want to stress the difference between ejaculation and in-jaculation. The two are entirely separate practices. To explain further, each release takes you further away from your divine state. Leave a comment if you promise to restore the link with your pineal gland and your jing. I have seen comments from my last video asking, "What about sex with my partner? Do I have to stop having sex?" Listen carefully. Retaining semen does not mean you must avoid sex altogether. It is about controlling your sexual energy. The main objective, the true strength of semen retention, is the practice of seminal ejaculation. Yes, you can still have sex after you have learned to direct ejaculation along the circulation pathway, moving up the spine and down the front of your body through what is known as the microcosmic orbit. One of the top experts in this subject is Mr. Mantak Chia. You should read his books on the matter, and we will keep discussing the skill of ejaculation. This advanced method lets you have an orgasm without the loss of semen. You are not wasting your essential energy. Instead, you are reusing it. You move that energy upward along your spine toward your pineal gland via the microcosmic orbit, and then you bring it back through the front of your body. You turn sexual fluid into higher forms of energy that benefit all parts of your life. Although the process is intricate, it is genuine and works effectively. Physician Sun Simo stated that if you follow this practice for 100 days, your voice will become clearer and more resonant. If you continue for 1,000 days, your skin will be smooth and well hydrated. And after 10,000 days, you might even experience levitation in full daylight. What we teach here is not solely about retention. It also involves ejaculation and reusing the energy via the microcosmic orbit. In fact, these practices support having sex and performing ejaculation with your partner in a skilled and careful manner, using established techniques. Therefore, you do not need to stop having sex. You are simply learning how to engage in sex in a more divine way, rather than like an ordinary person. An old Kartik proverb from the Intelligencer, the Atlantean, also known as Tahuti, says that gods are immortal, while men are mortal versions of gods. These are age-old Kaitic sayings. Kemet was the original indigenous name for Egypt. Simply put, Tantrikas hold that seminal ejaculation is an essential factor for enlightenment and for becoming a conscious spirit capable of leaving the body and reappearing whenever desired. But that topic will be covered in another video. I have mentioned this earlier, and here is my answer to the question. But doesn't ejaculation help prevent prostate cancer? So ask yourself, are you truly engaging in masturbation for the sake of your prostate health? Be truthful with yourself. Frequent ejaculation is not necessary for maintaining prostate health. With ejaculation, you can enjoy the benefits of orgasm without losing important fluids. Keep in mind that these fluids are required for producing life. Consider the valuable life energy you constantly expel. Recent research indicates that the connection between how often you ejaculate and the risk of prostate cancer is not definitive. And according to the wisdom we have examined, there is no clear link. I expect to receive more comments on this topic, but I will continue to remind you, hoping to change your way of thinking. Your lifestyle, diet, and genetics have a far greater influence on your prostate health. Take a deep breath and think about this idea. Consider this, even if it might unsettle you. Perhaps the forces in charge prefer that you continue to ejaculate. Think about it. A society that is always low on essential energy, overloaded with cheap dopamine fixes, and too unfocused to question the world's fixation on sex and ejaculation, is a society that can be easily controlled. Ask yourself, are you truly choosing with full awareness every time you masturbate? Or are you simply following a preset pattern? Take a deep breath and reflect on this idea. I am not here to dictate your actions, but I aim to steer you and help you appreciate the old wisdom. Every decision you make either nourishes your spirit or deprives it. I put it this way. Remember, it is not that you have a spirit. You are the spirit that lives within your body. Make sure you use the correct possessive pronouns. Now, here are some steps I suggest you follow. Pay attention. The next time you feel the urge to ejaculate, stop for a moment. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, is this brief pleasure worth blurring my spiritual vision? Is it worth hardening my cosmic antenna and my pineal gland? View your sexual energy as sacred. Remember that your body is like a temple, and your pineal gland is extremely important. Treat it with the respect it deserves. Practice converting that energy. When you are engaged in sex and are close to climax, with your sexual energy surging, you must relax, contract your Kegel muscle, hold it, and imagine the energy moving up your spine to stimulate your pineal gland. Sense it lighting up your third eye. This is not about suppressing your desires. It is about control, holding back, redirecting, raising, and reusing your energy. You will need strong control of your kegel muscle and a well-trained mind to do this correctly. So do not expect to succeed on your first 10 attempts without careful practice in Mantak Chia, TAA, or other tantric methods. Take care of your pineal gland. Consume foods that are high in zinc, magnesium, iron, calcium, vitamins B12, C, and E, as well as citric acid, alkaline substances, and fructose. Think about living without fluoride to avoid hardening or to soften calcification. In doing so, you are actually supplying your third eye and supporting your cosmic antenna. Improve your sleep habits. Your pineal gland releases melatonin when it's dark, so try to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. Set up your sleep environment to help this important process. You are not only getting better sleep, but you are also in tune with cosmic rhythms. Keep in mind that this is not about turning into a monk who abstains from sex. It is about making deliberate choices. It means putting your spiritual well-being above short-lived pleasure. It is about deciding to be like a god instead of being controlled by your desires. Expect pushback. Your habitual way of thinking will resist, and society will claim that this practice is not natural. However, what they consider natural or not is based on ideas designed to make men less strong and more submissive. Men of strength, ask yourself, who gains from having your pineal gland kept dull and your spiritual senses muted? It is certainly not you. The control is in your own hands, quite literally. Use it wisely.